There he is. There's Mikey T. Back at it at the sports book. Mike's sports book, that is. That's Tuesday, May 6th. Did you survive Monday, the 5th of May? Why don't we just recap and go over what happened on Monday and see how we did? Winners never quit and quitters never win here at the sports book. We're in Michigan. We're protected by Lake Michigan, Lake Superior, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, and Ontario. They're not doing it in the Northern Territory, down south, out east, or out west. It's right here in my lap. Mikey T, Mike's Sportsbook. Monday's action. Let's get to it. Boston, they get upset at home by the Knicks, 108 to 105. The spread was 9.5. Boston minus 9.5. Knicks were coming off a long, drawn-out series against the Pistons. They go to Boston, and they upset the Celtics, 108 to 105. No play for Mikey T. The other NBA game, however, I warned you, I told you, some teams, when they're sitting on the shelf for a over period of time, like OKC did, and Denver's been playing, Game 1, Denver goes to OKC and gets the victory, 121 to 119. I didn't need the 9.5 points. I reminded you guys to tread water lightly. OKC's obviously a real good team this year, but Denver is too, and Jokic goes off for 42 points. 9.5 was too many. Proved to be true. Denver gets Game 1 over OKC. Then we went to the NHL playoffs. No play for Mikey T, but the Maple Leafs are too much for the Panthers, and they get Game 1, 5-4. And then that's where I directed my attention to the MLB action, people. Mikey T's been on a streak. I told you those streaks, winning streaks and losing streaks. And when they meet, it's chaos. And we had chaos yesterday, people. St. Louis Cardinals in the parlor, that 5-star lock. If you knew who you're talking about, knew who I'm talking about, know who's winning. Cardinals get the job done at Busch Stadium over the Pirates 6-3. Ring it up, another 5-star lock comes through. Also, Dodgers minus 1.5 at Miami. I love the play. Dodgers get the victory 7-4. That's 2 winners for Mikey T on the 5-star locks, people. Also, Cubs get it done at Wrigley over the Giants 9-2. Go Cubs. Go Yankees. Go Dodgers. Tigers were off. They play Colorado tonight. San Diego Padres take down my Yankees. I saved the best for last. Pinstripes lose again in the Bronx to the Padres. 4-3. Not happy. Not happy on the play. Not happy on my Pinstripes losing again. We're on a little bit of a losing streak. We still have got room. Still got all season long. Yankees, baby. Tigers, baby. Cubs, baby. Mikey T, baby. Cross those I's, baby. Dot those I's. Cross those T's. Dot those I's. Get to the parlor. If you're new to the station, please like and subscribe. In the description, hit the Discord. You'll get over to the community lounge. You'll voice chat with Mikey T and the other players of the sporting issues of the day. See what's going on. The tidbits. Those hot streaks. Player portals. Transfers. Coaching matchups. Head-to-head matchups. This is playoff basketball, playoff hockey. Basically, it's win or go home. You've got to know your material. You've got to study. Do your diligence. Don't be greedy. Don't be selfish. Maintain that bankroll. Man, I keep chirping on the same things all the time. Repeat, 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 repeat. Routine. Get in a routine. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. Winning streaks and losing streaks. And Mikey T's on a winning streak right now. We ran up to like 6 winners in a row, looking to no chicken dinners. We want winners. And winners never quit. And quitters never win. And as corny as it sounds, you got to stay to the grindstone. By the time you drop the ball, money was made. Stay diligent. Refer a friend. Here we are, Mikey T at the Sports Book. Sports betting. I've told you once and I'll tell you again. Sports betting is $1 billion a year industry. $1 billion. Get your piece of the pie. Get your piece. There's plenty to go around. There's 50 states. I don't know how many countries. Sports is worldwide. You got that adrenaline rush. And nothing lasts forever. You don't just continuously win. Same flip side, you don't just continuously lose. It's a mixture. It's a fine mixture. And you come up with the ideal mixture by studying and knowing your material. Knowing that things never last forever. Knowing that things, if they're so good looking to be true, they're probably not. It's not that easy. It's just not the flip of the switch. There's a lot of sweating involved. Blood, sweat, and tears. Staying focused. Maintaining your bankroll. Learn to talk less. And listen more. Don't be bothered by them outside disturbances. I don't have time for that. I don't want to listen. No. Shh. Get your notepad, get your pen, get your paper, write down your stats, start doing some equations, math. It's statistical. Because you're at the dead end. There's nothing forward. It's either right or left. Sports betting. It's either this team or that team. Are you on the right side of the cheat? Let me ask you that. They hype this team up, and this team lays an egg. They run this team in the ground, they run that team in the ground, and they don't ever win. So when the winless goes up against the undefeated, hello, the winless team is more than likely going to win. Once you get to the top of the mountain, it seems like your performance falls off. Once you get to that big money, it seems like your performance falls off. Sports, I don't know, it's not good business, but back in the day, it seems like the Yankees or the rich teams, they spoiled it. They give all them big contracts to people because of their past performance. And then the upcoming performance, the upcoming seasons, they're just not as good. It's like they lose their hungriness. They're not hungry anymore. You're a college player and you're trying to impress the pro scouts to take it to the next level to become a professional, and you're giving your 100%. You're staying in condition. You're going to bed early. You're getting your sleep. You've got your nutrition on. Everything's going. You're hungry. And then when you get that big contract, when you get taken care of, when you reach the top of the mountain, it seems like the players don't care anymore. They start taking days off. They start traveling. They got family issues. Just because you hit 60 home runs last year, don't mean you're hitting 60 home runs this year. Just because your ERA was super last year and you could strike everybody out, that doesn't mean your ERA is going to be super this year and that you can strike everybody out. Just like the winning teams. Just because you win last year, don't mean you're winning this year. Losing teams. Just because you lost last year, don't mean you're losing this year. Things change. And it seems like in professional sports that when these guys get to the top of the mountain, when they get those contracts, when they get on that team that they want to be on, they're like their final destination internally, their performance drops off. Mikey T knows that. Mikey T's got research upwards of 10 years, 15 years. These systems, people need rest when they're traveling from the East Coast to the West Coast, and from the West Coast to the East Coast, and from the Northern Territory to the Southern Beaches, and from the Southern Beaches to the Northern Territory. You've got to do your diligence. You've got to know your material. You've got to study. You can't be listening to your wife, girlfriend, outside disturbances. You've got to stay focused. Where you lack intelligence, you've got to make up somewhere. And that's making up with hard work and study. Study. Nothing's easy. It doesn't seem to be too good to be true. You've got to sweat things out. It's not for the weary, it's for the rugged. Mikey T here at the Sportsbook. We've got tips, analysis, and predictions. We come to you live every day. I give my broadcasts every day in the mornings, sometimes later in the afternoons, depending on my sleeping habits. But this is the deal. You've got to dot your I's. You've got to cross your T's. You've got to maintain your bankroll. You've got to stay focused. Don't be listening to your buddy. Don't be listening to someone else, because no one knows more than you, because you're the one that put the time in. You're the one that put the effort in. It's your bankroll, so don't be letting someone else decide what you're going to do. Don't let someone decide your fate. We're in control of our own destiny. Just be smart about it. Be responsible about it. Maintain the bankroll. Stay focused. You can't win every game, every day, every year, every season, and every sport. For instance, there's like 16 games today in Major League Baseball. I'm going to go through all those games, but I'm not betting all them games. All those matchups, the hockey, the basketball, the soccer, the UFC, the cage fighting, all them sports. I go over all those sports for the sporting issues of the particular day. And then I do my dissecting. And then I do my isolating on which games favor Mikey T. Which games am I liking? Which games am I not liking? I'm not betting games that I'm not interested in. And neither should you. You need to just stay focused. Everybody's doing something different. But we have rules that we govern ourselves by, and that is scared money never wins. You don't overload your bankroll. You can't win every game all the time. Those winnings and those losings, they'll balance themselves out. We need to have more money on the wins and less money on the losses. How do we do that, Mikey T? By studying, kids, people, everyone. You got to study and know your material. And then after you've isolated the games that you favor, pound them. Stay within your limits. Stay within your restrictions. And you'll come out on top. Mikey T at the Sportsbook. We're dotting our I's and crossing our T's. We're not at the beach. It's raining all day here in Michigan. We got our glasses. If we want to be incognito, we'll pull them off. We'll put these on. And we're ready to ring some games up. You got to get to that parlor, that 5-star locks in the parlor. It was yesterday with the Cubs, the Cardinals, and the Dodgers. People that made the call, cashed their tickets, and keep winning. People that didn't call, didn't text, didn't show up, decided to go out on their own, they may or may not have won. Good luck to everybody, every day. And don't forget, Mikey T in the Sportsbook. We're always with you. We've got winners on the daily. I tell people, I just bet on games and win. And then I'll bet on games and lose. But my winnings outweigh my losings by far. I fly underneath the radar. Talk less. Listen more. And study good, and then study a little bit more. Don't overload yourself, as in too much studying makes it too technical and you'll come up with a loss. But scared money's not gonna win. And if you stay focused and you study, you'll know your material. Mikey T, we come to you every day. We give you these games that we kind of like, kind of favor, and stick to those. It's like an outline. If you've got pad, paper, notes, you need to know your material. You'll need to know who does good on the road, who does better at home. Road victories, head-to-head matchups, depending on the sport that you're talking about. Hot goaltending will survive in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Pick out those teams. Hot goaltending tends to favor the Stanley Cup teams, people. Points, rebounds, and assists. Get them scores in the NBAA action for those prop bets. Points, rebounds, and assists. That's 3 for 1 getting it. Jokic went off for 42 points last night. I don't know what his rebounds and assists were, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander also went off for 33 points. So when you add points, rebounds, and assists, you're popping those prop bets. Home run hitters. You're figuring out who's gonna hit a home run today. Well, go all through the games, figure out the home run hitters that are playing that day, go up against the pitchers, see who ground ball pitchers are. Ground ball pitchers don't give up a lot of home runs. Hello. Base hits, RBIs. You got to know your material. So making those prop bets, figuring out who the home run hitters are, going up against the long ball pitchers. They're not going to hit home runs on ground ball pitchers. Hello. Once you study and know your material, you've got your notes. You can refer back to those important things that I just talked about. Home teams in Major League Baseball aren't getting swept. So if you're paying attention and you're studying and you're knowing your material on these series that these teams play, 3 games in Detroit. Detroit loses the first 2. Maybe you didn't bet those first 2 games. Well, that third game, you better be on the Tigers. You better be on Detroit, because that third game, they're 80% going to win that game. Same with any other team in the Major League Baseball. Home teams are not getting swept. So follow the baseball. If you're not betting them games up to the final game, that's okay. The final game, if the home team hasn't won yet, 80% of the time, the home team is not getting swept. This is the stuff that falls into tips, analysis, and predictions. And we've got 228 subscribers now. The hot streak's continuing. We dot our I's, we cross our T's here at the Sportsbook. That's Mike's Sportsbook. In Vegas, Atlantic City, down south, in the Bahamas, or any other sports books, they're wanting your money. Tips, analysis, and predictions. Nothing lasts forever. And when you have a horn, you can toot it. I don't have one right now because it won't fit in my pocket and I didn't bring it. So it's on the shelf. Henceforth, we got games today, people. Yankees going up against the Padres. Tigers in Colorado. We got NBA action again. And we'll turn these glasses off and put these ones back on so I can point you guys in the right direction, people. Cubs at home against the Giants again today. Padres in the Bronx. Tigers in Colorado. We got Indiana going to Cleveland. Game 2. Cleveland minus 9.5. I look for Cleveland to get the payback tonight. Lots of scoring. Cleveland looks to even the series. Golden State at Minnesota. During the regular season, Golden State had beat Minnesota 3 times. 3-1 the series. Look for Minnesota to probably get that job done tonight. At home. Minus 6.5. Tips, analysis, and predictions, people. NHL playoffs. Carolina against Washington and Edmonton against Vegas. I'm going to go with the home teams in the Stanley Cup playoffs for Game 1. I like Vegas to get over on Edmonton, and I like Washington to take care of Carolina in Game 1. So those home teams coming out of Mikey T Sportsbook. Home teams in NHL hockey playoffs for Tuesday, May 6th. Vegas over Edmonton, I like that. And I like Washington over Carolina, I like that. I like Minnesota minus the 6.5 over Golden State. And I like Cleveland minus the 9.5 over Indiana to right the ship and get it back to 1-1. I'm going to go with my Pinstripes over my Padres, my Cubs over the Giants, go Tigers in Colorado, and that'll be it for the day. Let's chart our progress and see how we do. We'll be back on Wednesday. Mikey T in the Sportsbook. Have a great day.